Let me ask you something. When was the last time you thought about the man driving the truck in front of you on the motorway? Not the truck, the man. You probably didn't. Nobody does. You see a big vehicle taking up too much space in the left lane, and you overtake and you move on with your day. But I want you to stop for one moment, just one, because inside that cab, behind those windows fogged up from coffee and cold air, there is a human being. A father, a husband, a son, a man who woke up at 4 a.m., kissed his children while they were still asleep, and drove away into the darkness. And he won't be back for a week, maybe two, maybe more. Today, I want to take you inside that cab. I want you to live one day as a long-haul truck driver, not the romanticized version, the open road, the freedom, the good money, the real version, because what you see is the salary. What you don't see, is everything he gave up to earn it. It's 3:45 a.m. The house is completely silent. You move through the rooms like a ghost, careful not to wake anyone. You make coffee, you check your route one more time. Your phone screen is the only light in the kitchen. On the fridge, held up by a magnet, there's a drawing. Your youngest did it last week, a truck, and a stick figure driving it. Daddy, written underneath in uneven letters. You stand there for a moment longer than you planned. Then you pick up your bag, you step outside. The cold hits you immediately, it doesn't matter what season it is. 4 a.m. always feels like winter. You climb into the cab, the engine turns over, and the house disappears in your mirrors. This is the moment nobody talks about. This departure, this small private grief that happens every single week or every single month for hundreds of thousands of drivers across Europe alone. According to data from the International Road Transport Union, IRU, there are approximately 3.8 million professional truck drivers in the European Union. The majority of long-haul drivers spend between 15 and 25 nights away from home per month. That means millions of families every single morning watching a car or a truck pull out of the driveway. Millions of children who grow up measuring time not in weeks, but in how many sleeps until dad comes home. And the driver, he measures it in kilometers. People see the salary. I understand that. A long-haul truck driver in Western Europe can earn between 2,500 euros and 4,500 euros per month, depending on the country, the company, the cargo. In some specialized transport sectors, hazardous materials, refrigerated goods, oversized loads, it can go even higher. From the outside, that looks like a good deal, a great deal even. But let me show you what that salary actually costs. It costs your sleep. EU Regulations Under Regulation, EC number 561/2006 limit driving to 9 hours per day, extendable to 10 hours twice a week. But the total working week, including loading, waiting, paperwork, regularly pushes past 60 hours. Sleep happens in a bunk the size of a coffin, parked in a truck stop, with diesel engines running all around you and the vibration of passing lorries rattling the walls. It costs your body. Studies published in the Journal of Occupational and Environmental Medicine show that professional truck drivers face significantly elevated risks of cardiovascular disease, type 2 diabetes, musculoskeletal disorders, particularly in the lower back, and obesity compared to the general working population. Sitting for up to 10 hours a day, eating at irregular hours with minimal physical movement, the body keeps score. It costs your mind. A 2022 report by the European Agency for Safety and Health at Work identified long-haul driving as one of the professions with the highest rates of chronic stress, anxiety, and occupational loneliness. Thousands of kilometers alone, the same thoughts circling, the same radio station, the same road, and it costs something that cannot be measured in any study or statistic. It costs who you are going to be. I want you to think about something. On the roads of Europe right now, at this exact moment, there are trucks moving through Germany, through France, through Poland, through Spain, thousands of them, tens of thousands. And inside those cabs are people. There is a man driving through the night who, when he was 19, played guitar in a band. His friends told him he was the most talented musician they'd ever heard. He had a notebook full of songs he'd written himself. He had a voice that could silence a room. He never recorded an album. He never played a real stage. Life moved fast. A family came sooner than expected, and the guitar went into a case that now sits under his bunk. Sometimes at rest stops, when no one is around, he takes it out and plays a few chords, and then he puts it away again. There is a woman, yes, there are women in this industry, more every year, who study to be a teacher. She loved children, loved learning, loved the moment something clicked in a young student's mind. but the teaching salary in her country was not enough. Not for a family, not for a mortgage, not for the life she wanted to give her children, so she drives. There is a man who at 22 did amateur theater. Every director who worked with him said the same thing. This one has something special. He dreamed of the stage, he dreamed of the screen. Now he dreams of making it home by Friday. I'm not making these people up. I have met them. I have talked to them at rest stops, at fuel stations, in the long silence of a shared parking area at 2 a.m. when neither of us could sleep. These are not broken people. Do not misunderstand me. These are people who made a choice, a sacrifice, a quiet, daily, unacknowledged sacrifice to put someone else's comfort above their own dreams. They chose their family over themselves, and nobody ever says thank you. Let me tell you something that most people have absolutely no idea about. Driving a loaded truck across Europe is not just physically exhausting. In certain areas, certain routes, certain countries, certain hours of the night, it is genuinely dangerous. Not dangerous like a difficult commute. Dangerous like, I'm afraid to get out of this cab to use the toilet. Cargo theft across Europe is a massive organized criminal industry. According to the Transported Asset Protection Association, TAPA, cargo crime in Europe costs the logistics industry over 8.2 billion euros annually. The most targeted goods include electronics, pharmaceuticals, tobacco, and food, and the most targeted moment, when the driver's asleep. Criminal gangs in certain regions have become sophisticated in their methods. Some use spike strips on roads to force drivers to stop. Some use distraction techniques, fake accidents, fake police stops, to separate a driver from his vehicle. And some, and this is the one that terrifies me most, use gas. There are documented cases across multiple European countries of criminal groups pumping sleeping gas or chemical agents into truck cabins through the ventilation system while a driver sleeps. The driver wakes up, sometimes hours later, completely disoriented, unable to understand where he is or what happened. The truck has been emptied, the cargo is gone, and sometimes the driver is not just robbed. Sometimes he is hurt. He is not afraid for the cargo. The company has insurance. The cargo is not his. He is afraid for himself, for his life, in a parking lot, in a foreign country, alone. And he will not tell his wife this when he calls home, because she would worry, because she would ask him to find another job, and he can't do that, not yet, not until the mortgage is paid, not until the kids finish school, not until things are more stable. So he lies awake in that bunk, listening to every sound, and he tells her everything is fine. Everything is fine. He says it so often he almost starts to believe it himself. Every driver has a version of this moment. You're parked somewhere, maybe a truck stop in Austria, maybe a lay-by in northern France. It's 8 p.m. local time. Your shift is done for the day. You're tired in a way that doesn't go away with sleep anymore. It just sits inside you, behind your eyes, in the back of your neck. You call home. Your wife answers. The kids are in the background arguing about something on television. She sounds tired too. You ask how her day was. She asks how the road was. You both say fine. Because what else do you say? How do you explain that you sat in traffic for 4 hours on the German Autobahn and you felt something inside you, something quiet and slow, just give up a little? How do you explain that you saw a family in the car next to you, a father pointing out something to his daughter through the window, and you felt something so sharp in your chest it took your breath away? You don't explain it. You say fine. And then your youngest comes to the phone and she says, "Daddy, when are you coming home?" And you do the maths in your head, 3 more days, maybe 4, and you say, "Soon, baby, very soon." And you mean it. You always mean it. I want to speak directly to you now. If your husband, your father, your brother drives a truck, if he leaves every Monday and comes back whenever the road lets him, I want you to understand something. He's not just doing a job. Every kilometer he drives is a small act of love, an unglamorous, invisible, exhausting act of love. He is trading his time, the only thing none of us ever get back, for your comfort, for your stability, for the heating in your home and the food on your table and the school bag your child carries without thinking. He is sleeping in a truck stop so you don't have to worry about money. He is afraid, genuinely afraid some nights, so you can sleep safely. He is listening to the same radio station for the 14th hour in a row, somewhere in the dark, so that when he comes home, things are okay, so that you are okay. And I'm not asking you to feel guilty, I'm asking you to see him. When he comes through that door after a week away, tired, stiff, smelling of diesel and motorway, don't immediately tell him about the broken boiler or the argument with the neighbors. Just for a moment, see him, because he spent that entire drive home imagining this moment. The door, your face, being still for once instead of moving. That moment is what he drives for. There are hundreds of thousands of men and women on the roads of Europe right now. Unrealized musicians, forgotten teachers, actors who never saw a stage, writers who never published a word, people who had dreams and quietly folded them away, placed them under a bunk seat, and chose someone else over themselves. Every single day. They are not heroes in any official sense. Nobody gives them medals. Nobody makes films about them. They are just people doing an invisible job, holding up a world that doesn't pause to notice them. If this video made you think of someone, a father, a husband, a friend, share it with them. Or better yet, share it with the people in their life, the ones who sometimes forget to look. And if you're a driver watching this right now, in a truck stop, on a rest break, somewhere between here and there, thank you, I see you. Leave a comment below. Tell me your story, because every one of them deserves to be heard.